This winter, I bring to you A Tale of Two Snowmen. Two movies, one made in 1997 and the other made in 1998. One is about a man named Jack Frost who dies in an automobile accident during a snowstorm and comes back to life as a snowman. The other is about a man named Jack Frost who dies in an automobile accident during a snowstorm and comes back to life as a snowman. Wait a minute. That's a pretty wild coincidence, don't you think? How did these two movies come out so close together with practically the same plot? This is a question I have asked myself before. When I was young, I remember seeing these two movies next to each other on the shelf at a video rental store. They had the same titles, but completely different covers. One looked a little scary, and the other looked super scary. Why and how are they so alike? This was a curiosity I tucked away into the back of my mind. Until now. Is this some kind of Christmas copycat conspiracy? Or is it all just one big coinky-dink? I think so, yes, to the second one. But just because I believe this is all a coincidence, doesn't mean I can't try to find some similarities between the two, intentional or not. I took the time to sit down and really study both films. A snowman creature double feature, if you will, so I could bring to you, the viewer, a conclusion in video form to a question nobody has ever asked but me. All gift wrapped with a shiny bow on top, because it's Christmas time.
One cold night, science and evil collide. Oh yeah.
He had a beautiful wife and a loving son. Then one night, something happened. Something terrible.
I'm home. Jack Frost.
Jack Frost.
Jack Frost.
I want to get the most obvious comparisons out of the way first. Yes, both movies feature a major character named Jack Frost, who dies in a snowstorm-related automobile accident, and then their spirit is transferred to a snowman's body. With such a blanketed explanation, a snow blanket, help me, you might think that these movies are exact carbon copies of each other. This one is a dark fantasy family drama film, and this one is a dark comedy horror film. In this one person dies, and it's so sad. And in this one, a bunch of people die, and you're supposed to laugh and be scared. The titular characters, Jack Frost, are actually quite different besides their snowman-related fates. Michael Keaton is Jack Frost 1998, and Scott McDonald is Jack Frost 1997. Both of these guys do a fantastic job at playing the human Jack Frost. We'll discuss more of their snowman bullshittery later. So one of them is a musician who is trying to balance his family time with a budding music career, and the other is a mass-murdering serial killer psychopath. Both films also feature a puppet snowman. The 98 one was made by Jim Henson's Creature Shop. Personally, I don't think it really looks like Michael Keaton at all. I think it looks more like a stretched out, flowered up Winnie the Pooh. As for the 97 snowman, I'm gonna tell you this straight up because I was really disappointed by this, but the skull-headed snowman from the cover does not make an appearance in the movie. The snowman from it looks like this.
Don't eat yellow snow.
I understand that they probably had a much smaller budget. Actually, I know they had a smaller budget, but I really wish they had tried to make the snowman at least look like what was on the cover, because I think we can all agree that this Jack Frost looks way cooler on the box. Okay, I have a really quick question. Why is it Jack Frost? Isn't it Frosty the Snowman? And the other song is Jack Frost nibbles on your nose, or something like that? Most of the time when I think of a Jack Frost, I picture a blue guy with snow powers. Actually, the only snowman like Jack Frost I can think of is the guy from Persona, but I don't think that's necessarily supposed to be a snowman. I'm sure they just went with Jack Frost since that sounds like an actual normal human name, as opposed to naming them something like F. Ross T. Snowman. Sorry to interrupt, it was just something I was thinking about. Hey, don't worry about it, little me who was just on the screen, but we do need to keep moving, so don't do it again. The way they die is similar too. The car accident is the cause of Jack Frost 98's death, and in 97, Jack Frost is being transported to his execution. But there's a car accident. He's able to escape, but then he gets melted by chemicals from the truck that hit the vehicle that he was in. Chemicals being the cause of serial killer Jack Frost Snowman transformation is a fun juxtaposition to the 98 version, which relies on the classic Christmas magic trope. Personally, I think this is too obvious, which might make that a better recipe for a Christmas story, but the 97 one is definitely more creative. Even though they are pretty different, it's still weird how much overlap there is between them. Besides the overall plot of the movies, there are actually quite a few more similarities I found during my viewings. This section will be in no particular order and will be filled to the brim with Jack Frost spoilers. In both movies, the sun is responsible for building the snowman. Both movies have an offensively stereotypical 90s mom. Both movies have scenes where the snowman deals with the sun's bullies. 98 ends with the bully and the sun gaining mutual respect for one another, and 97 ends a little differently. Both movies feature snow breasts, played for comedy. In both films, when Jack Frost is a snowman, he becomes a talking machine. Unfortunately, this is the worst part of the movies in my opinion. When the snowman is on camera or implied to be on camera, they just don't shut up. They keep doing their observational stand-up bits and unfunny quips that just don't work, and I find it really annoying. And if there's one thing I hate, it's all the noise. In both movies, people react with fear upon seeing the snowman moving for the first time. Hair dryers are used in both movies in threatening ways against snowman form Jack Frost. The son in each movie shows concern for their father's well-being.
You're melting. You gotta be crazy to come here.
It's a good thing that you did.
I didn't want you to get cold.
Honey, what did you put in the oats?
Antifreeze.
Both movies feature a "I will always be there for you" motif.
I will always hear you.
Obviously, there are a lot of differences in these similarities. You can't exactly watch them at the same time and have some kind of enlightened experience. Trust me, I tried.
Are you okay?
I have to build a snowman. I just find it fascinating how many things both of these movies share. I think the lesson learned today is that even though two things can look similar, or even seem like one is copying the other, that sometimes things just happen that lead us to these kind of situations. For instance, I couldn't find information anywhere that either production team even knew the other one existed. Do I recommend either of these movies? Yes? If you're going to watch them both, do I recommend you watch them back to back? Absolutely, in release order. I have no problem wasting my free time watching movies that are well below standard. I have a different tolerance, so my opinion on these films might not be up to your level of quality. Here's what I'll do. I'll say one big nice thing about each movie and one thing that's critical, and then you can make your own decision. Jack Frost 1997 has a great cast of characters. The lead sheriff and the guy who plays Jack Frost are both a lot of fun when they are on the screen. But hands down, the best character is this Proto-Stars member the government sent to deal with Jack Frost. To me, he looks like a mashup of modern Leon and Chris. And he even comes with an attaché case that's been organized. There were also quite a few moments in the movie that had me laughing, which is a good thing for a comedy film. The biggest downside is the snowman. I kind of mentioned this before, but I really wish the Jack Frost we see on the box was consistent with what was going to be in the movie. It was a pretty big bummer when this version of Jack Frost never appeared in the film. Also, if you're planning on watching Jack Frost 1997, just be aware there is a no-no scene in it. Well, implied no-no. It's a 90s low-budget horror film, so just go into it with that mindset. Jack Frost 1998 has some really pretty sets, even though you can tell they are using plastic snow with matte paintings filling in for the backgrounds. The plasticky look actually benefits the snowman puppet, in my opinion, because it was easy for them to blend the CGI snowman scenes together with the real puppet. Some people might find this Jack Frost creepy, which, fair enough, but I personally liked it quite a bit and enjoyed watching it slither around like a pudgy upright snake. The biggest flaw is the flow of the film. Some scenes feel like incomplete half-thoughts, like they needed an extra 20 minutes of screen time to fully flesh out the plot just a little bit more. Things happen in the movie that seem almost too convenient, like they were just trying to make the movie make sense as best as they could. Ultimately, both movies are a fine time, as long as you temper your expectations and go into each one with the right mindset. I'm glad I finally got around to watching both of these for this dumb little comparison video I've been working on. Now, get out of my way. I'm going to see my father, the serial killer. Father.
Chestnuts roasting on an open fire. Jack Frost nipping at your nose. Yuletide carols being sung by the cold and froze. There's a life Eskimo